Welcome back to Kdramas Decoded, and don't forget to subscribe so you never miss an episode of your favorite K-drama. Episode 5 of The Affair was just the beginning, picks up with everyone scrambling to deal with the consequences of the accident and the secrets surrounding it. What initially looks like a simple hit and run quickly becomes much more complicated when the characters realize that there may have been more people involved than they originally thought. The episode opens with someone desperately trying to figure out what to do next. He is clearly panicking and keeps telling himself to think, eventually wondering if everything happening around him is just a nightmare. Soon after, he contacts an old acquaintance for help tracking down a vehicle involved in the hit and run. The car is badly damaged, and he wants information from repair shops that might reveal where it has been taken. Although the other man points out that obtaining those records would be illegal, he pressures him into helping, even threatening to expose him if he refuses. Meanwhile, tensions are rising inside the families. Mincio is repeatedly called inside, while the adults quietly try to figure out what is happening. When someone asks about the money that was borrowed earlier, the situation becomes even more suspicious. The amount turns out to be nearly 100 million won, and the conversation reveals that there is an even larger sum of money involved. Things take a dramatic turn when the adults discover that footage apparently captured the faces of the people involved in the incident. This immediately raises questions about Mincio and Yeji. If Mincio's face was actually visible in the footage, it means the adults have been deceived about what happened that night. Before anyone can properly process the situation, the police arrive. Mincio's mother assumes they have come to arrest him and desperately tells him not to open the door. Yeji is then confronted and questioned about what really happened. Her family finally realizes that she has not been telling them the complete truth. Yeji admits that she was involved, but the adults try to protect her by constructing a story that places all the blame on Mincio. They tell her that she should say she merely sat beside him and that Mincio was responsible for everything. However, the situation takes another unexpected turn when the police reveal that Mincio's father has actually reported him missing. This leaves everyone confused. If Mincio was supposedly involved in the incident, why has his father reported him missing? At the same time, Yeji's behavior makes the adults suspicious. They begin to realize that her lies may have been connected to her relationship with Mincio. The truth about their relationship soon comes out. Yeji has been hiding the fact that Mincio is her boyfriend. Her parents are shocked that she went so far to protect him, especially after putting the entire family through the consequences of the accident. Yet instead of simply condemning the relationship, the adults begin arguing about whether Yeji should stay with Mincio or walk away from him. The mystery surrounding the supposed video becomes even more important. The adults question how Mincio's face could have appeared in footage from the scene when the conditions made it difficult to see inside the vehicle. There was little lighting, no obvious CCTV, and the car's windows were heavily tinted. This leads them to suspect that the footage may not show Mincio at all. When they finally examine the footage, they discover something shocking. The video exposes an affair that one of the adults has been desperately trying to hide. The man immediately starts making excuses, insisting that what happened was nothing serious. He claims it was simply curiosity, a mistake, and something that would never happen again. He begs for forgiveness and insists that his wife is the only woman he cares about, but his desperate explanations do nothing to repair the damage. His wife refuses to accept the excuses and makes it clear that their relationship has changed. She tells him that from now on, they are nothing more than business partners. The revelation completely destroys the trust between them. While the adults deal with their own relationship crisis, another group discovers the abandoned vehicle connected to the incident. The car appears damaged, and because the keys are still inside, they initially assume that somebody deliberately abandoned it after committing a serious crime. They even begin wondering whether the driver could have killed someone and abandoned the vehicle to avoid being caught. However, when the police investigate the car, the witnesses explain that the damage they noticed was already there when they found it. They insist that they only got inside because the vehicle looked like it had been abandoned. The investigation therefore becomes even more confusing. because the condition of the car does not necessarily prove that it was the vehicle involved in the hit and run. At home, Minseo's mother becomes increasingly emotional. She tells him that she believes people cannot be trusted and warns him about getting hurt. She fears that Minseo will eventually leave her, especially because she feels that he is the only person she has left. She promises that she will do whatever she can to protect him from the consequences of what has happened. Yeji, meanwhile, is confronted again about her relationship with Minseo. Her family cannot understand why she would risk so much to protect him. They question whether Minseo truly loves her if he allowed her to take responsibility for his actions. Despite their concerns, Yeji is encouraged not to abandon him simply because their relationship has entered a crisis. The family even convinces themselves that the situation could ultimately make them stronger. Elsewhere, the investigation into the damaged vehicle continues. A man searches through multiple repair shops, trying to find a vehicle matching the description. He eventually learns that some of the cars being investigated only have ordinary mechanical problems, making the search much more difficult. At the same time, another financial crisis is unfolding. Someone is questioned about approximately 300 million won that has mysteriously been spent. He admits that he took the money and promises that he will replace it before anyone notices. However, the people around him are terrified that the missing money will eventually be discovered. The episode then brings the different storylines together when a woman confronts the person responsible for the affair. She apologizes and admits that what happened was a serious mistake. She promises that she will never meet him again and asks for the compromising video to be erased so that the entire incident can disappear. Instead of accepting her apology, the woman she betrayed orders her to leave immediately. She warns that if she does not want to be publicly humiliated, she needs to stay away. Meanwhile, a new connection begins to emerge around the damaged car. During the search, someone discovers that the vehicle belongs to an actor named Cha Yun-bin. This discovery becomes particularly significant because Cha Yun-bin has already been connected to the characters through the house and promotional work surrounding the business. At the same time, the people involved in the financial situation are trying to keep their stories straight. They are worried that if the missing money, the accident, and the affair are connected, everything they have been hiding could collapse at once. The episode ends on another suspicious note. Someone at the repair shop confirms that the vehicle belongs to Cha Yun-bin and identifies him as the owner. This gives the investigation a new direction and suggests that the supposedly abandoned damaged car may be far more important than everyone initially realized. By the end of episode 5, several secrets have been exposed, but the biggest mystery is still unresolved. Yeji and Minseo's hidden relationship has been revealed, the affair has blown up, huge amounts of money are missing, and the damaged vehicle has been traced back to Cha Yun-bin. What looked like separate incidents are beginning to overlap, suggesting that the characters may soon discover that they have all been caught up in the same much bigger problem.